Hey, everybody. Well, we made it. Today is day 40. Wow. We are so humbled at what God has done over these days. And we are grateful to know that in the moment that we are living, that God is touching the hearts of his people and raising up a community of consecrated lovers. It has been a jealousy of mine and something that God has deposited in me, just something personally to believe for, and which is why it makes it so special to see what it is that God is doing. Lord, may you awaken the Nazarites. This is the cry that the Lord has put in my heart. It's one of the prayers that I have prayed for years and years and years and years as I've walked with him. You see, the Nazarite call comes out of Numbers chapter 6. In verse number 2, I know number 6 is familiar, probably more so because of the blessing, the Aaronic blessing down at the end, where God himself speaks to the people and he says, command this blessing over them. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you. That's familiar. But the beginning of number 6 is actually, it's the call of the Nazarites. And in the call of the Nazarites, we find in verse 2, this is what they say. If any man or woman wants to make a special vow to the Lord. I love it in another translation because it words it this way. If any man or woman desires to set themselves apart for God. And then it begins to go into the details of what that looked like for them. But we understand that the Nazarite call is just not about long hair. It's just not about grapes and things on the vine. And it's just not about staying away from dead bodies. As a matter of fact, these things, I believe, even though they were literal in their day, they're symbolic. It's not just about long hair, but it is about a public marking. It is about something that's unavoidable. It's about the Lord publicly marking you on a way that's external, that you can't hide from. It's a commitment that you just can't keep secret. It's something that doesn't just remain private and convenient. The long hair, it represented the way that they had determined to set themselves apart for God. The long hair was symbolic. It was something that people saw and they immediately recognized the vow that they had made to the Lord. It was a marking that God invited them into that would allow them to be in it, but they were no longer of it because of the way that they had chosen to be set apart, to consecrate themselves to God. Why? Because their hearts were filled with desire. They say if anybody wants to make a vow, I'm actually believing that over the course of these 40 days, that the Lord himself has put a want to in your heart, that he's put desire in you. For the Nazarites, there were different ways that they could have made a vow. Some of them were seasonal. Some of them were for life, right? We see those like Samuel. We see those like Samson. We see those like John the Baptist. They're all Nazarites. They all bear a real Nazarite call on their life. Jesus himself is referenced as the Nazarene. But I'm believing that over these days, God has put a want to in your heart, right? The long hair was symbolic of a marking on them. May the Lord mark us in a way that becomes evident to all. May the Lord mark us in a way that by our hearts being filled with desire, again, not for rules and regulations, but desire for intimacy, proximity, and real relationship. May the Lord mark us in a way that becomes evident to all. May he mark us in a way that sets our lives apart. May he mark us in a way that we can't hide from the way that we've given ourselves to him, the way that we've consecrated our lives to him. This was the long hair. The ingestion of the grapes represented an internal work, a purity of the inside. Jesus said, when your eye is single, your whole body will be filled with light. David writes, this one thing I ask, this one thing I will seek. There was a singular focus. When your eye is single, when your request is single, Jesus told them it's not what a man puts in his mouth that actually defiles him, but it's out of the abundance of the heart. The mouth is going to speak. The point is internal purity. It's an internal purity. And I'm believing that over these days, that the Lord would brand his desires on you on the inside, where you would desire to purge and have your life purified in a beautiful way with a singular gaze, with a singular request, to be a singular pursuit people. This one thing I ask, and this is what I will seek: to dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of his face and to behold him. Again, when your eye is single, your whole body will be filled with light. I'm believing that the Lord is going to raise up a people that desire purity. Be ye holy, even as I am holy. Holiness is the byproduct of a singular devotion. Holiness is the byproduct of a people that have given themselves in consecration to the Lord and to his desires. May we live with this jealousy for purity and staying away from dead bodies. That's because this isn't about callous rules. It's not about cold-hearted religion, but the invitation of the Lord always leads to life. And may we put to death all of the works, all of the mindsets, all of the dead things. May we lay them down. May they be buried beautifully by the power of the Spirit. Because the Lord's invitation, again, is not unto cold-hearted, calloused, distant religion, ideas, forms of religiosity, denying the power thereof. This is not his heart. But his invitation always leads to life. Lord, may you mark us in a beautiful way, in an external way that becomes evident to all. May you mark us in a way where we desire this internal, beautiful purity, this holiness. May you mark us in a way where we understand that your invitation always leads to life, that we're not losing out. I like to say it this way: you never lose when you choose to give more of yourself to God. The invitation in Numbers 6, the Nazirite call, is about desire. It's about a want to. This was the invitation. If anybody wants to make a special vow to the Lord. Yes, the invitation may go out to everybody, but somebody actually has to respond. The invitation may be for everybody, but there has to be somebody whose heart has been touched, that has want to, that has desire. This is not a have to. This is a want to. This is not a have to. This is a get to. The invitation goes out to all, but is there any among you that actually burns with desire to give more of yourself to the Lord? I'm just going to read really quickly, and then we're going to close. I didn't even originally intend to do this, which is why I'm trying to look it up on my phone right now. I'm just going to read the definitions really quickly of Nazirite. You can actually pull the word Nazirite from two different words. They're both Hebrew. It is Nazir and Nazar. Nazir, Nazar. Nazirite is actually pulled from those two Hebrew words, Nazir and Nazar. They sound very similar, except there's only the exchange of the I and the A. Again, Nazir, Nazir, and Nazar, Nazar. I'm going to read you these two definitions. We're going to put them together at the end, and I'm going to pray for you as we close out these 40 days. Nazir, a Hebrew word which means set apart for God, sanctified, consecrated to reflect God's glory. In essence, Nazir means removed from common standards in order to meet the standard of God. Then we have Nazar, Nazar, a Hebrew word which means elevated above others, set apart, given authority over the land. When you combine the two, it speaks of being set apart, purified, being made to reflect the glory of God, raised above the norm, and given authority over territory and nations. May we understand the invitation of the Lord in consecration is to be set apart from all of the worldly standards, to be set apart from all of the commonality in the world and their standards, to be pulled apart from that, to be separated from that, to be consecrated to God, to give our lives into and unto another so that our lives can meet God's standard. And in the beautiful purifying of our lives, we are granted authority over territory. May consecration bring us into a beautiful place where we actually are authorized to take new territory on the inside. Maybe you have places within you right now that, yeah, I love Jesus. Yep, I live for him. Yep, I believe. Yep, I've turned. I put my faith in the gospel. But man, there's just territory on the inside that I know he's not ruling over right now. There's just territory on the inside that I haven't actually come to the beautiful broken place where my life has fallen subject, where I'm no longer wrestling for my own way. I'm no longer fighting for my own wants. I'm no longer projecting my own demands. Lord, I want you to take territory in me. I want to be authorized to take territory in the land. Right? We see this with Samuel. We see this with Samson. We see this with John the Baptist. I want to be authorized to take territory in the land. Yes, but Lord, I want to authorize you to take territory in me. May the Lord do something in you as we close out these 40 days to where this wouldn't be a single offering in a moment of time, but to where this would become a lifestyle and to where you would answer the Nazirite call. How can I give more of myself to God? I have a want to. My heart is burning. I have desire. Speak to me, Lord. Lead me. Mark me. Purify me. Set me apart. Take territory in me and authorize me. Give me authority in the land. May the Nazirites awaken and may they arise. I thank you for journeying with us over these 40 days. And I really look forward to the next opportunity where the invitation of the Lord would come and where our hearts would respond and we would find ourselves together once again. Until then, may you burn for him above all things. And may he bless you and keep you and make his face to shine upon you. In Jesus' name. I love you guys. God bless you.